Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gaccantu Devata Saddhammang Muni Rajase Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Sakka Brahmana Imasmimpi Dhamma Vinaye Anupubba Sikha Anupubba Kiriya Anupubba Patipada Panya Petung Ti. Dear Dhamma friends, first of all, I would like to bless and wish everyone to be well and happy. I would like to invite everyone to concentrate on my voice while having faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Faithfulness or Saddha means meaningfully confidence. We have to be confident in the Buddha and his teachings, also his followers of the ordained monks. That means while asking for refuge in the Buddha, we are promising ourselves spiritually to be kind and wise. That means we are going to take refuge in the Buddha. If I ask you, who's the Buddha? The Buddha means nothing but compassion and wisdom. Therefore, each time when we recite Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, that means we are promising ourselves to be kind and wise. How many times as followers of the Buddha we recited Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, so on. If you don't have any conscience of the meaning by taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, that means we are having fruitless results of taking refuge in the Buddha. Therefore, we have to go for the Buddha to take refuge with understanding of our life. Just to say how to find real happiness. Of course, there are so many worldly things support us to make us happy. Simply people used to say, by earning money, houses, vehicles, so on. And then we are able to find happiness. But still, if we don't have real understanding of what's nature of this human life, of course we are not going to find real happiness forever. That means throughout of these lives. Therefore, according to the Buddha, we have to find what it is with our mind. And then we can have our real understanding of what happiness is. It should be in our mind with our own understanding. The Buddha guided us what is right, what is not right, what is wholesome and what is not wholesome. That means this is what wholesome is, also this is what unwholesome is. Therefore, the Buddha was guiding us to find wholesome path of real happiness, which creates in our own mind. Therefore, with realization of the Buddha's noble virtues, we have to be confident in the Buddha, and Buddha's teachings also follows of the Buddha of ordained monks. As I ask you, who is the Buddha? Of course, now you realize the Buddha means nothing but compassion and wisdom. We have to be kind and wise. Dear devotees, being a human is so rare. Dullabancha manussatang manussata. Manussatang dullabo dullabancha manussatang. Being a human is so rare compared to animal world. We understand how many human population is all over the world. It could be 8 billion. But compared to animal world, it's a very small portion of beings, among beings, including tiny creatures. We have to respect this rare chance of humanity. This is what I ask you. We have to appreciate and evaluate this rare chance of humanity by thinking, while keeping in our mind, being a human is so rare, I got this chance, and then I had to respect this gratefulness of this rare chance. How? Again we have to say, I had to be kind and wise according to the teachings of the Buddha, and then I am able to respect this rare chance of humanity. The Buddha, who existed on this earth for the well-being of all kind of beings, including tiny creatures. Remember, according to the Buddha's noble teachings, regardless of gender, color, religion, race, country, culture, whatever, we are supposed to train our mind to peaceful thoughts, all of them. Just we have to have our own experience of our own practice of loving kindness or metta. Metta means simply loving kindness, but it's not love. It's not love. Ordinary love is kind of selfish. People used to say, I love you. Keep him behind as long as you love me. Otherwise, mind your business or go away. But when we talk about metta or loving kindness, without asking for anything in return, our mind is trained to spread over, regardless of gender, color, religion, culture, whatever. Remember, without asking for anything in return, our mind is trained to spread pure thoughts over all of creatures or beings. Sometimes you may ask yourself, all right, I can make my mind to be peaceful, but there are so many evil people. They are trying to hurt me. They are trying to rob me. They are abusing our way of path, our path of happiness. And then, what should I do, or what should we do? Of course, you have to protect yourself from evil people and evil things. Not only that, we have to protect our lives from natural disasters like floods, earthquake, etc. At the same time, we have to protect our mind from evil thoughts of strong attachments of the objects, also hatred, jealousy, evil activities, so on. Otherwise, we are going to lose our mental happiness. I would like to remind yourself, being a human is so rare. We got this chance. Simply, it says we are going to have 100 years long life, but everybody doesn't have 100 years long life. Even when we were in mother's womb, we may die. When our mother delivers her baby, who may die. After we got this life, at any time, we may leave this world, keeping everything behind. Though it says humans are having 100 years long life. So that's why the Buddha said, transient are all component things. According to the teachings of the Buddha, sabbe sankhara anicchati. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. Transient are all component things. By knowing this truth, we are not asking anyone to cry, but to be mindful. Though we are holding this body while cleaning, brushing our teeth, combing our hair, washing our face and whole body, also beautifying this, our body, we do everything what we could to keep this body clean and neat and healthy, but still it's subject to get sick and old. For each moment we are losing our time, and then we are getting aging. We are aging. Finally, any time we may meet with our final destination of death. At that time, no matter how much we love myself and others by saying, you are in my life. You understand? Between parents and children, between beloved wife and husband, brothers and sisters, how about your love and relationships? People used to say, without you, I can't survive on this earth. I need your love and strength. And then I'm having lots of energy to continue this human life. But who knows? Even next moment, we would terminate our life. At that time, we have to disconnect all kind of relationships between parents and children, wife and husband, brothers and sisters. Not only that, with these worldly conditions. People are fighting over things to get. Sometimes people used to say, without these worldly equipments or materialistic things, I can't survive. If I want to be happy, of course I have to collect money, build houses, buy vehicles, and then to amuse my senses. But as you explained before, like beautiful flowers, like beautiful natural flowers, is subject to get withered. Having comparison with our own physical bodies, we are subject to get sick and old. For each moment we are getting closer to our final destination of death by knowing this truth. Of course, convince leads me, but absolutely nothing to save my own mind. We have to train our mind to accept the truth of impermanence. According to the Buddha's word is anicca. Anicca means simply impermanence. Nothing is permanent. As I explained, by saying nothing is permanent, we are not going to ask anyone to be inactive, but to be active in sense of your life. That means work hard, study well, find jobs. It depends on your life. That means you have to get married, have kids, continue your lives. But keep in your mind, we are not supposed to violate our rules, what we promulgated on us. According to the teachings of the Buddha, we call as precepts. According to the society, there are laws. Of course, we are not supposed to abuse and then to respect. It could be religious, it could be societal, it could be family discipline code. But still, we are finding our happiness, real happiness. We are finding our inner peace. Our code of discipline support us to have mental happiness or inner peace. According to the teachings of the Buddha, of course, nothing is permanent. By knowing this truth, work harder to continue this human life. At the same time, we have to discipline. We need self-discipline with understanding. So that's why the Buddha asks, practice metta. Think about your own valuable time of life. Respect your life with your own experiences. That means nobody wants to be beaten by anyone else. Everybody loves themselves with that experience. Having comparison with your own life and feelings, and then respect others. Nobody wants to be beaten by anyone else. They love themselves. They respect themselves. And then we have to respect ourselves. We have to respect others as well with our own experiences. And then we have to respect rules of or precepts of on the path of the Buddha. The Buddha said, we have suffered for millions, billions lives in the past while having lives mainly in hells. For millions, billions lives we have suffered. Still we have been suffering, coming through this circle of samsara, that means circle of death and birth. Of course, when we came to this human life, just we have to say, being a human is happy situation. It's a happy situation. Of course, it says life is suffering. That means if we are not going to realize the real nature of this life, that means any time we may leave this world keeping everything behind, we are going to grasp anything by thinking is permanent. At that time we may abuse and violate the rules, and then we are inviting suffering to our own lives. When we hurt or kill humans or beings, that means we are taking others' lives. At the same time, we are having lots of problems from this society because we are doing lots of evil things. Therefore, we have to respect lives. At the same time, we are not supposed to steal which is not belongs to us. If I ask you, someone is going to steal your things you don't like, and then why we are going to steal others' things which are not belongs to you? Of course, we have to respect others' properties and belongings. Even in secret, we are not supposed to violate. Also, we have to respect family bonds. Your partner is going to violate any family bonds you don't like. Sometimes all kind of beautiful relationships, happy relationships might collapse over you because of your partner is cheating you and violating your family bonds. Therefore, we have to respect your family bonds. This is what the Buddha said. Devo devya saddhin sangvasati. Of course, within this life, you have to find your happy life. It's like a god and goddess are living in harmony. Again, I would like to remind you, Devo Devya Saddin Sangvasati, the god and goddess are living in harmony. It is beautiful and peaceful. Sometimes you may don't have three-storied building and expensive vehicles and tasty foods, expensive clothes and jewelries, but still you are having lots of virtuous wealth of saddha. It is in your mind. You feel you are having lots of happiness in your heart. Still you are in a small hut, but your heart is like a palace. This is what the Buddha asks us to be, noble human being. So you have to respect your family bonds. Also protect your mouth. That means not to lie, including harsh words, slanderous words, and gossip or empty words. People may use their words like weapons. It's so harmful. Sometimes rather than using a real weapon, these evil words may hurt others' heart. Sometimes throughout of their lives, it may damage them. You may steal their happiness by using your words, your evil words. Also, we have to refrain from taking intoxicating drugs and drinks. This a very dangerous thing is spreading all over the world. It is taking youngsters' beautiful lives. They are losing their younger period of their lives. It's so bad and so sorrowful things happening all over the world. Therefore, by knowing the validity of this human life, we have to respect and then continue our lives with understanding of anicca. That means impermanence. If we are going to realize the real nature of this human life, that means we are not going to invite the feelings of suffering into our own mind. If you are not going to realize the real nature of this life, that means everything is impermanent. That means we are going to grasp everything is by thinking it is permanent. That's the problem. Nothing is permanent. When the things changes, that's the nature of the things. When the things changes, we get upset. Why? We grasp the objects or things by thinking it is permanent. Of course, generally people know everybody is subject to get sick and old. Anytime we may die. We can fulfill all kind of aspirations of our wishes, what we wish. We know in general, but our mind is not trained over that subject. And then, of course, brain says, anytime we may get sick, anytime we may die. But with the support of brain, of course, we have to train our mind to accept the truth. Otherwise, when we face for the truth, that means when we depart each other as loved ones, we get upset. People used to ask, I never thought we may leave this world each other. I never thought we may live our lives within short period. I thought maybe for 100 years long life we may walk together. I never thought we may die within short period. But the Buddha said, any time we may leave this world. After you breathe in, and then we have to breathe out. If we are not able to breathe in again, everything is completed. That means the mind left our physical body. People used to say, it's a death. Who died? That's the nature. So that's why For each moment, we have to be mindful. We say, living at the present moment with understanding of anicca or impermanence. And then it says life is suffering. But if you are going to realize the real truth of impermanence or anicca, and then we are going to act meaningfully, we are going to think peacefully, we are going to express our words beautifully. And then we have to say, being a human is so beautiful. It's so rare, but it is beautiful. I have to use this rare chance for a good cause. That means I have to develop my worldly life, like going to school, study well, finding jobs. It depends on your wishes. That means getting married, having kids, so on. That means you are living in harmony. Also, you are having a happy life. At the same time, we have to develop our inner progress, inner peace. That means as we promise ourselves spiritually, when we recite Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi, I have to be wise and kind and wise. And then we have to be wise. With nothing is permanent. Always I am like repeating these same words. Of course, I have to repeat myself. I have to remind yourself. Why? Always the people are holding objects by thinking it is permanent. As I explained, simply we know nothing is permanent. But when we act, when we grasp the things, we act like it is permanent. So that's why people are fighting all over the world. People are struggling to gain things. Sometimes they may lose their valuable time and they may lose their lives. Also, to gain the things, some are killing others, taking others' lives. Sometimes they are abusing the system. Sometimes they are losing their virtues. So that's why we have to ask people to train their minds. Though your brain says that's all right, but mind doesn't accept the truth. And then when we are going to have self-discipline with understanding, and then we feel, okay, all right, I'm not going to compete each other. I do my best, but I'm not going to compete each other. And then to be, conceit in my mind, and then to have conceit in my mind. You are going to say, I'm proud of you. Simply, it's all right. But if you are going to have kind of mana means according to the teachings of the Buddha, conceit in your mind, you are going to down other people by saying, I'm on the hierarchy. I'm in hierarchy place. But others are not. By thinking this way, you are damaging the figure of others' lives. It's not right. When we realize the truth of anicca, impermanence, again I would like to say, we are going to arouse our heart of beautiful blossoms, and then we are happy. At the same time, we are going to do our moral duties towards each other. Why? Anytime we may leave this world, anytime we may leave our parents, children, brothers and sisters, anytime we may leave this world keeping all kind of worldly things. It doesn't matter how many houses you are going to have, how about your wealth, property. It doesn't matter. Anytime we may meet with our last breath. So that's why we have to say, we have to be mindful, live at the present moment. Once, named Brahmin, who is in a higher position in the Buddha's time, named Brahmin Ganaka Moggallana, who came to the Buddha. At that time, the Buddha was at Purarama monastery. This monastery was donated by Mother Visakha. Ganaka Moggallana came to the Buddha and asked, Venerable Gautama, someone comes to you asking for happiness. What you are supposed to say? O Brahmin, if someone comes to me while asking happiness, I have to say, Silava hohi. First thing is you have to be disciplined. First thing is you have to be disciplined. Finally, it comes to understand until self-discipline creates within your own mind, you have to train. You have to be disciplined with understanding. That means, again, I would have to say, nothing is permanent. With that understanding, you have to be disciplined. Otherwise, people may violate rules even in secret. You know, in general, people used to respect rules in front of others. Also, they may have kind of fear of law. They may have kind of problems because of law. If they are going to violate the rules, of course they have lots of problems. And then finally, it could be end up with, you know, having lots of penalties or punishments. At the same time, other people who may blame us, therefore I have to protect my character and then to show my, you know, beauty. People used to say, but still they are suppressing their feelings within their own lives. But here, with understanding, if we are going to be disciplined, even in secret, we are not going to violate any rules. No one is around you, but still you are respecting the rules. That means you are creating virtuous feelings in your mind. That means metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, just we have to say, those are sublime status of our mind. Metta means, we explained already, mindfulness. And karuna, that means compassion or kindness. And mudita, sympathetic joy. And upekka, that means equanimity. You know, with understanding, we have to create these four sublime status of our mind, and then we are practicing precepts or sila. That's the Buddha's word. First thing is should be self-discipline. Even myself, as a monk, I'm having 227 precepts to practice with understanding. I'm not going to violate even in secret. This is my option. This is my choice. This is my selection. I left my layman life and became a monk. Of course, within this life, I want to get rid of this sansaric journey. That means I have to complete my holy life and then to terminate this sorrowful sansaric journey. It should be your story. Though you are a lay person, but still you have to go through sicknesses, old age, finally death. See, therefore you have to practice this path, gradual training, practice, and progress. The Buddha said to Brahmin, as he asked someone, if someone comes to the Buddha, what the Buddha asks him to follow, first thing is to be disciplined, and then to continue gradually his path, Anupubba Sikha, gradual training, Anupubba Kiriya, gradual practice, Anupubba Patipada, gradual progress. It doesn't matter whether you are a wife or husband or parents or children or whoever, at least being a human, we have to practice these gradual practices. First thing is just respect, even for a single precept. Just to say, respect lives with your own experiences. Like you practice metta, you like yourself, you wish lots of things towards yourself, you want to be well and happy, you want to fulfill your own good thoughts and aspirations. Everybody likes that, like that. And then, like myself, including my parents, brothers and sisters, friends, neutral people and unfriendly people, finally all living beings be well and happy. See, gradual training. And then we have to practice pure thoughts of offering even $1 or single rupee or single pound or euro, just with pure mind. You have to donate it. You have to give it to someone with pure mind. Gradually, we have to train our mind to, practice offering or donations. Why? Anytime we may leave this world keeping everything behind, and then we have to use for a good cause our things. Of course, you have to enjoy your life while spending your money and things. At the same time, it's a moral support and moral things. Just we have to share our things with our family members, also with others as well. See, gradual training, gradual practice. Slowly we have to improve our giving, donations and offering with understanding. Finally, gradually we have to have our own progress. Of course, conventionally it's me, and then we have to protect our body and to continue our lives, but absolutely nothing to save your mind. For example, between wife and husband or parents and children, you may say, I love you, my darling. You are an apple in my eyes. While holding each other's hands, we may live in harmony forever. For 100 years long life, people used to say, it's all right. It is conventional, but absolutely we have to accept the truth. That means impermanence. Even with single hair in our body, we don't have 100% control. With last COVID-19 sickness, what happened to us? What happened to whole world? COVID-19 pandemic, destroyed people conscience and protections and confidence. Everything is gone. It's already went. See, people thought, okay, only thing is we can't protect. That means when people die, we cannot protect. Of course, we are able to go through medical treatment, but finally we are defeated because of this death. Otherwise, we are able to do everything, but finally, with our own breath, we didn't have 100% control. We have breath freely, But finally, we became innocent. What happened to us? Whole world is collapsed because of this COVID-19. So that's why we said, conventionally it's all right when we say, I'm in your life, you are in my life. I love you so much. We have to walk together. That's all right. But absolutely, anytime, everything may collapse. That's the nature. As I explained, not to cry, not to be inactive, but to be mindful and then to be active. Why? Because of this rare chance what we got as a human. So that's why we say, first thing is be disciplined with understanding. Also, protect your senses from evil objects or feelings. What does it mean? Of course, we have to protect our mind. That means when I see the world, when I hear the world, when I smell the things, when I taste, when I contact with my body, when I think with my mind, of course I have to protect from jealousy, hatred, and all kind of evil thoughts. Sometimes I may have very strong feelings of lust. It could violate your family bonds. It could be violate my ordained bonds. I'm mindful. I'm a monk. I had to respect my ordained monkhood. I had to continue it. Or you have to protect your family bonds. You have to protect your mind from evil thoughts of lust. That means, as an ordinary human being, you may have kind of feelings of attachment towards people and the things. But as you have bonds, family bonds, also as you observed like precepts, or as you aware of your own activities of your lives, we are not supposed to violate our moral virtues, moral thoughts of our behavior. As ordinary people, we may have those kind of feelings with understanding of sorrowful sansaric journey. It is existed. We don't want to continue it. We got this rare chance of human lives. Therefore, we don't want to violate. At the same time, if we are not getting chances to fulfill our thoughts, also we may lose our things. We may get upset, and then we may get angry. Even at that time, think about your lives. Many things we have already got. Many things we have already lost. That's all right. That's the nature. The Buddha said, labha alabha, gain and loss. Anytime it may happen. Of course, we have to protect our things, but still, nothing is permanent. You know, when the things lose, of course, we have to work harder, find it again. There are some things we cannot find. That means someone has left us. That means who died. We never meet with same person. Of course, we may meet in our next life, so in our sansaric journey, but it is predictable. That's all right. Of course, we have to protect our door of eye, door of our ear, door of our nose, door of our tongue, and door of our physical body. That means from evil actions and thoughts we have to protect. Otherwise, we may violate the things through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. Simply, people are violating their tongue with alcohol and drugs. They may violate their mouth with evil words. Someone may violate their physical body while having fight I am having quarrels and things. So that's why we have to be mindful. That means concentration on our physical body and feelings and sensations, and on our mental objects. That means we are protecting our five senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. With the leadership of train our mind. The Buddha said, and then we have to be moderate in eating or taking food. Otherwise we may have lots of disease or sicknesses. Also we have to at the beginning we have to control our tanha or craving towards food. Of course we need healthy food for our energy of our physical body and energy of our mentality, the energy of our mind. That's all right, but should not be how, the craving of food. Also, we have to practice wakefulness. Some people are lethargic. Some people are inactive in their work, in their career. Of course, being a human, of course, we have to be active in our career. When we ask students or children, of course, from your young age, you have to start. What? Start with your experience of your lives. That means you have to study well. Be a beautiful, obedient child towards your parents and adults. Also, listen to your teachers, respect them, have lots of experience throughout of their lives, and then continue lives. At the same time, the Buddha said, you have to practice meditation. That means cultivation of good thoughts. Bhavana means cultivations of our mind, training of our mind. We have to cultivate virtues like sympathy, empathy, mindfulness, compassion, wisdom of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means impermanence, dukkha means unsatisfactory, and anatta means non-self. That means that the real nature of our lives, we have to go through these three characteristics of existence. Three characteristics of existence we have to go through: anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's the nature. By knowing this truth, be mindful, live at the present moment, and then we are able to our own happiness. We have to say it is mental happiness. Finally, we have to end up with our final happiness. Final happiness, according to the teachings of the Buddha, the terminating of circle of death and birth. We have to say nibbana, termination of all kind of tanha or craving. That the real nature of finally we have to meet with. By the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, may you be well, happy, and peaceful. Finally attain supreme nibbana. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu lokasasanang. Transference of merits towards departed relatives. The sponsors of this Dhamma sermon expected to transfer merits towards beloved father K.A.D. Karunaratna passed away September 2004. Brother Kapila Priyadarshani Kuruvita Arachi passed away August 1995. Aunt Ranjani Pereira passed away December 2018. Sponsored. Expected to transfer this merit towards departed their beloved father, brother and aunt. By the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, may they be well and happy. Also, with this merit, may they rejoice in these meritorious activities and then to escape from any evil realms and then to meet with beautiful realms, and then finally, while terminating this circle of death and birth or samsara, they may attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Idan wo nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idan wo nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idan wo nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. By the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, may you be well and happy, finally attain supreme Nibbana. May the triple gem bless with you.
Mohakhayo Nibbānam